Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth. Happy Tuesday to everyone all across the world, throughout the U.S. It is a good day. It is an exciting day. It's a moving day. It's the best day. It's the day of days.
That's right.
Charles, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Good to see. How's everything down in the Big A? I guess I got to watch how I say that.
Today is happy birthday, Barack.
No, it was the other day, but we celebrate.
Well, happy belated birthday, Barack.
You know what? Right. Let's open that up for Big Mama before we do the particulars.
Yeah,
why do we say belated rather than just saying happy birthday? Why does it have to be belated? Why can't it just be happy birthday?
Because it's not the original date.
What did you say, Charles?
Because it's not the date. It's late.
Well, that's okay. It's still your birthday.
No.
Like the rest of you keep celebrating all the time. You know, hey, you know.
That's like
I'm just wondering because everybody says belated.
It's like people who celebrate all month. It's not your birthday.
Exactly, I do.
I don't. It's not your birthday.
Are happening later than should have been in that case. So I mean, that's the reason why we say belated, because when we should have said it, it's kind of in the later phases of just saying anything that you should have said. So
right.
That's what it means. Belated means coming or happening later than should have been the case.
Okay. That's why it's called a birthday, not a birth month, a birth week. It's called a birthday.
Of course, you gonna say that, yeah. But you're actually only your age the one day that it is, and that's it. You move towards your next year.
Yeah, true.
You're actually your birthday one day. People are like, no, that's not true. Yes, it is. You're only your birthday actually one day, and you start moving into your next birthday. Your next time phrase after that.
Was it Prince Nelson that said that we shouldn't? He was. I don't know. Yes, he was strictly Jehovah's Witness in the beginning. I don't know about his later life, but he never cared for the mention of age, and age didn't mean anything to him. Wow. So birthdays was never the case. People don't celebrate. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know the importance of birthdays, but it's just sometimes you just don't. Some people don't want to remind it that they're getting up there in age.
Why? I love to celebrate
probably
my birthday.
Probably it's vanity. Probably it's just the fact that you don't want. Some people don't want to believe that you're getting up there.
Hell, you're getting old regardless. Whether you celebrate the birthday or not, you're still gonna get old.
Yeah. you are as old as you feel, I suppose.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just, I just think you should be grateful every year that you have an opportunity to have a birthday.
Well, I think it's the society that we live, or the culture that we live here in these United States, because within the United States, because we consider ourselves a young country.
Okay.
That has always been the case with everything that happens within what we believe is popular. Music, movies, just sports. There's an age range where you must cut off all things that are young and anything that you want to get involved in. Sometimes with your jobs. There's crazy things.
There's ageism. There's
ageism, and it really, that is the biggest thing within this country. It's just one of those things that we cannot ever get around. You even hear it sometimes within the way men talk about women and the way women talk about men. I read of one young man and then an old one. I read of one a young woman than a older woman. Who was it?
That's men.
Wait a minute, Charles might know who I'm talking about. Not too long ago, Trick Daddy had a that's his name, that's his hip hop name. But Trick Daddy had a interview with Nene Leakes from Real Housewives of Atlanta. He said he would never date a woman over 35. Now this man is like almost probably in his early to mid 50s. He said he would never date a woman over 35 because you can't tell him nothing.
Well. Okay, I guess you're right about
that. See what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't say what Charles. I just have to say that he just said it for me. He said. That was Dave's answer right there. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't care what age they are. You can't tell them nothing, no matter what age they are.
I know that's right. Okay, let's get back to President Obama real quick. We got to get into particulars before we get into a deep conversation. We went on something else. All right. President Barack Obama.
Hussein Obama.
All of those. Happy birthday, happy birthday. And some people say belated. I'm just going to say happy birthday. All right. He is the same age as I am. He turned 63 on his birthday, looking dapper as usual. You know, the man of swag. You cannot knock President Obama for nothing. Okay, I'm telling you, the man has got swag. He has maintained that swag. I guess because he was a very young president when he
has a loving wife named Michelle Obama.
Yes, he does.
He has the American dream. I will say that
the quintessential family, great daughters. You know, have desperately tried to keep himself out of scandal. You know, with that clown is trying to still bring him into things because I think that clown is absolutely jealous of Barack. Huh?
Hey, Trump can't do shit.
Oh yeah, he's just jealous.
He can't do nothing.
He's jealous of Barack. That's what it is. You know, he's jealous of Barack because of Barack's fame. He will always be famous. You know, he will always be number one. Always will be number one. So and then the problem with that idiot is that he feels like that no one could be number one but him.
Well, that's the foolishness of that man right there in a nutshell. But see, Barack is well educated. He's well spoken. He's well book learned. He knows how to get things done without foolishness and without craziness and all types of confusion. See, the thing about Trump likes his people get off on talking points. They get off over the foolishness, the ignorance of having to but they believe that a leader is supposed to be boisterous and have nothing to and have this grandiose style of just being ignorant.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry that I'm saying that word, but how can you not miss the word? I mean, their whole entire representation of that party and that man and everything that they do is ignorance. I mean, it's just you cannot get away from the word ignorance.
Right.
And that is something that Barack is not, which he cannot stand because he wants Barack to fulfill the stereotypical black man that he knows that he would love to see black men be. Like people like oh my God, Tim Scott and all these people. They are a representation of what he believes a black man should be.
Yeah.
And Barack is not one of those things.
Right.
Nor are the people that Barack surrounds himself, because Trump cannot stand powerful people of color. He cannot stand powerful people of color knowing too much more or knowing more than what he knows.
Absolutely.
He wants to be number one at everything. Now, Charles, you can add on to that if you would like.
Wait a minute, hold on.
No, he didn't say anything.
No, I know. We need to get our particulars out of the way because we keep going by that. Charles, you can put those up real quick for us. So we want to encourage you to definitely support us. Like, and share this wonderful platform, please. We're going to have some other ways that you can get involved with that coming in season 6. But right now, Cash App is available for you. TTBTT Show on Cash App. Venmo. Send a Venmo. Send a Ven with some mo. All right. The Truth Behind the Truth on Venmo. All right. You still have an opportunity to obtain a mug from us, as well as paying for a mug at $5.99. All right. Send your information to the Truth Behind the Truth at gmail.com. All right. Go ahead, Charles.
Okay. What am I going with?
You were talking about Trump and
Taco Don.
And President Obama.
Oh well, it's a I call it penis envy. That's why Trump uses all these words as grand, phenomenal, excessive, overwhelming, great, big. Everything's some type of gesture on size, and he's mad because every country loves Obama. They can't stand him.
Well, that's his fault for coming up short. But my mom didn't tell that story.
True.
Well, I hate to tell it, say it to him, but he doesn't have the Nobel Peace Prize, which is another situation.
Ooh, that pissed him off. And
Barack Obama was the only president to ever have received a Nobel Peace Prize during his presidency.
Right. But
and then his girls went to Harvard. They wouldn't let Brendan in.
Yeah. Brendan. Was it Brendan and Barry Ron, or Barry Ron, or whatever?
That poor boy couldn't get into no Ivy League school. What's going on with that?
Barry Ron.
Well, can't help that situation.
Barry Ron, that's what it is. Barry Ron.
And Harvard don't feel no ways tired about that either.
No,
I don't care how much Columbia, they caved in to Trump. Princeton probably caved in to Trump, but Harvard we don't care.
Nope.
You do whatever you want to do. We don't really care at all because we still hold the cards.
Yeah. And I know we ain't supposed to be talking about somebody's kids and all that stuff, but anyway, something wrong with Barron, but that's okay. I'm gonna leave it right there.
Well,
you're right there. I'm gonna leave it right there.
Yeah, let's leave it right there.
Okay, right. Time to move on. All right. So we have celebrated President Obama. Now, we're gonna start off a little. Hopefully, the show will be up for everybody tonight. I mean, it may get intense a little bit here or there. A little intense after our entertainment sector. Well, this is kind of way we can kind of revert back into it. Cynthia Erivo just did a phenomenal job here at the Hollywood Bowl and Jesus Christ Superstar. Okay, y'all left wing, right wing, in between ring Christian folk, y'all don't read nothing. Y'all don't understand nothing, and I don't think y'all ever will be able to have nothing. All right.
Why you say that?
Well, okay. Question is why I said that because they've never seen Jesus Christ Superstar as a play. Number one, okay, we've seen it 3 times over the course of my life. Actually, it was one of the earlier plays I saw back in the 70s when it was done. My school took us to go see it, and it is kind of like the last days of Jesus's walk on the earth prior to his crucifixion. And Andrew Lloyd Webber did it, and he did it to a rock, kind of like a rock opera. Okay. So, and he reinvented all of the songs were based around his idea of what scripture was. Okay. So what he did is he took that and applied it to that. It won, I think, 4 Tonys. The year that it was out, it was actually a phenomenal play. Okay. So, but those that have never seen it always want to mock it. They want to call it blasphemy. It's blasphemy. No, it's not blasphemy. Okay. Because you in your own world, Christianism thinks that things have to be a certain way, that biblical understandings cannot be impact and reaching different communities in different ways. That's on you. All right. But the comments that I saw behind Cynthia Erivo's performance, not so much that, but even the play itself was just horrible. And people didn't even see it. Mockery. Oh, it's sending people to hell. I'm glad I didn't watch it. I didn't glad to go to get. I mean, all of the did. You know what? If you didn't go, you ain't shut the flip up. Okay. I mean, honestly, realistically, that we were talking about last night. Then I'm gonna play the clip. We're gonna move on from this particular part of entertainment. There's a song in there by Mary Magdalene called "I Don't Know How to Love Him." Okay. And one of my favorite songs on, from the play itself. And, what it does, it tells Mary Magdalene's story about how she fell in love with Jesus. Okay. And in her words of that, she felt so unworthy of falling in love with him. And this is why she comes up with the song that I don't know how to love him. Okay. But it's in the play. It's in Jesus Christ Superstar. It's mockery. It's blasphemy. Right. Okay. And after the clip, I'll show you another deep point about that. I'll play it for you, Kyle.
Save tomorrow for tomorrow. Think about today instead.
That was just a little sample of the whole production, and it's done, like I said, it's done to a rock opera. What I liked from this clip, I wish we would have had a chance to go see it, but what I liked from the clip is they moved the dance moves, they made the dance current. Okay, from the several times that it has been, it's always have had dance in it. Some of it has been rhythmic, some of it has been jazz. Chandra was in it in Atlanta, and when I saw it at the Alliance Theater in Atlanta, beautiful production that they did with it. You know, so this display has been cycled itself, redone, and it always speaks to the generation that it is always out there for. The one last point, but then you can make a quick comment, Charles, and we're gonna go on. This play, when it was first done, it really touched the heart of the individuals that were a part of the play, and they all had a different vision of Christ after they did the play, especially the guy that played Jesus. And he went on record to say that how such he was moved, that he was not a strong believer prior to getting cast for the play, but afterwards he felt even more strong. So the play does what it's supposed to do. Shut up. All right, go ahead.
Well, I mean, you talking about a bunch of people who do not like liberal arts anyway.
Well, yeah.
I mean, people who couldn't care less to go see a play. I mean, the most people that I know who do not care for this situation is those of the evangelical right wing, crowds. Yeah. And these are people who could care less about anything that's liberal and anything that deals with the arts. But my thing is with their thing is with this situation is that Cynthia Erivo, not only being black but being female, is playing Jesus,
right?
And not only that, that touched on that was blasphemous.
Oh yeah,
in their critique of it. Not only that, but Mary Matlin being a woman, why bring up the LGBTQIA+ is bringing up included in this play, and there's an agenda now being pushed. But my thing is this, y'all really. This is not even up your alley. Most people, and I come from the Bible Belt. I come from the South. In most places within the realm of liberal anything, there are a lot of people down south or in the Midwest that don't care for this type of stuff. But what they do, they dredge up this talking point of this is the actual propaganda that the left is doing, and this is what they're trying to do to get our kids to be progressive and to bring about all types of evilness to our into our and not only that, they always say this too. Christianity is the most mocked religion of all the religions. You cannot mock Islam. You never see them mocking Islam, Buddhism, and all this stuff. Right. So they are offended that their religion is being mocked. Which is not the case, but to them, that's what they want to believe. And this is their talking point. Y'all are just making fun of Jesus and making him out to be this what you believe Jesus to be. But it's too late for that. And this is going to be the end of it. It's too late because y'all have made Jesus what y'all believe Jesus to be. You have not have, and in the critiques, there were ignorant critiques. Jesus is a man, but you had some that wanted to go as far as say, well, he was a white man too, wasn't he? And he had blonde hair and blue eyes. Well, that's not what it says in the Bible as well. But that is the ignorance of the right wing who want to bring this up in Trump's America as this is another way of the left trying to mock our Christian values. Go ahead, Charles. I don't want to take up this.
It's okay. There's really not much you can say about it. I mean, think about it. Everything is a faith-based situation. Now they're turning schools into charter schools and going to send all the public school money to the charter schools. And then the charter schools, they're going to teach Christianity as a class. So we complained about the Islamic faith and the people over in Iran, the Shia doing all this stuff, but we're doing the same things here. We're forcing religion on people who don't want it, making them believe the beliefs we want them to believe. So you're not, I just don't get it. It's like a double-edged sword. It's like Trump who said Obama did executive orders. He did 290 something executive orders in 8 years. Trump has done 300 and something in 6 months. So tell me how is that bad when you're talking trash about Obama for executive orders, but yet you've almost doubled what he done in only 6 months when it took him 8 years to do what he did.
He just signed a new executive order today, trying to be the taskmaster over the Olympics.
Over the Olympics,
trying to throw trying to throw Governor. See, this is nothing but another distraction. This is the situation. Yeah. You don't want the Epstein. You don't want your Epstein's files to come out. Those that you claim was there. Now they're not there anymore. Allegedly. But they're there. They're somewhere.
They're there. Oh,
they got your name all over it.
Well, they redacted his name. They didn't leave his name. They redacted his name.
It's all right.
But even when they redacted his name, I mean, that's not keeping him from being guilty of the fact.
There's pictures all over Google. What are you gonna do about the Google pictures?
Wait a minute. What about this one? I got you, Charles. What about this one? What about this one? Oh my goodness! I'm not there. I wasn't on Epstein plane with these girls. Oh my gosh, these little underage girls.
Yeah,
I wasn't on the plane.
That's fine.
I didn't.
Oops, Which one was stolen?
No, I didn't hang out with him.
Which one was stolen from him?
I was there.
Which one was stolen from him? You know, he stole one of his employees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I forget her name, but she committed suicide. One of them did.
Ain't that some mess?
His little bed bunnies.
And you got that Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank talking about, you know, these women have now had children. Why are you going to make them relive this craziness that y'all are putting upon these women, these poor women that's got, you know, and I'm saying to myself, if you don't set your mouth, and plus, I would say more. I would ask more. What do you got to gain from keeping these women from not speaking?
Well,
were you on the island too?
He probably was, but you know he was single then. So
you know that is the situation. These folks need to be questioned about why are you keeping information away? But then I have to ask the Democrats this: why now? Y'all have had this information for this long. Why now that y'all have now finally want to come out and expose this list?
It should have been done.
It should have been done a long time ago.
Should have been done during the election.
Thank you. Should have been done when Clinton was running.
Yeah,
well, you know, hey, that's too much. Like, you know, too much connected to that one, wasn't it?
Absolutely. So we're gonna get back into our entertainment point. We're gonna have enough time to talk about him and his fiascos.
But do you like Cynthia Erivo's new look? Do you think she should gain a little weight?
I think she's just small in general, though.
You think so?
Yeah, I think she's very tiny in general.
I don't know. I think she needs to gain a little weight. My bald head look is kind of scaring me a little bit. You know what it reminds me of? You ever seen that silent movie of that monster? What was his name? Nasser Festu. You gotta look. Wait a minute.
Hold on. We gotta go.
Go ahead. I'll pull it up.
So, in the entertainment world, this brilliant, I have to say, brilliant young lady is just. I mean, she's on fire in Europe. Okay, America is not. And understanding how to embrace the true essence of jazz music. She's did a 2-night set at Carnegie Hall. Okay, Carnegie Hall without a plethora of fans, but these people packed out to see this young lady. Okay, this performance, I believe, was in Europe, the one that we're going to briefly show with you. But I salute Miss Samara Joy.
Yeah.
If you guys are not into this young lady, she is Ella Fitzgerald. She is Dinah Washington. She is Sarah Vaughan.
That's right.
Sarah Vaughan. Okay,
Quintessential.
all wrapped into one.
Strange as it seems, someday we'll meet, and you'll dry all my tears and whisper sweet little things in my ear. And a kissing.
Just sends chills up your spine.
She's got great lineage. I mean, her grandfather was on Sunday's Best, and she has, you know, like I told you, she has great gospel training. And you know what? So I think her backing, whoever backs her is doing a great job, because I was watching this my goodness, this show on Dionne Warwick, right? They were talking about analyzing and dissecting her voice, but I did not know that Dionne Warwick started her career in Europe.
Oh,
now this is Dionne Warwick I'm talking about. But what I'm trying to connect the dots is Samara Joy. You know, we don't see too much of her over here within these states, but I think it's a great idea that she is being exposed to a wider audience like Dionne Warwick did in the 60s. You got to start. I think the U.S. is okay when it boils down to, but we are very fickle about talent here. We are so fickle to the point that we like mediocre at mess, and we dibble and dabble in mediocre. But in Europe, they love talent. Yes. They love talent. Shantae Moore she was over in China for some time, and she had a resurgence. Asia and Europe loves talent. Over here, talent is just awful, and we put money behind awful talent. Right. Awful. I mean, I love certain people, but certain people are not really well renowned known here, but over in Europe they are celebrated. Right. So I think Samara Joy is in a great place now that she's in a better place.
Now she's Grammy winning, Samara Joy.
Yeah, she is Grammy Award winning, but that's not even
best new artist.
That don't even hold any weight.
Yeah, anymore. But it doesn't at that point.
Yeah. But, she's okay, but she's no Sexy Red or Megan.
Oh, shut up.
You're right. Give
me some real talent.
No. She's okay.
Nice, good talent.
Make it funny.
Move. Come
on. What'd
you say, Charles?
Come on, give me some real talent. Make me move. Come on, she's no Megan Thee Stallion or Sexy Red.
Low. Get on my knees.
I want to see it hit the flow. Drop it low till it hit the flow.
Yeah,
like
that's what we want over here. We want that mediocre. And the saddest thing about it is we want to complain. We want to complain there's a conspiracy. There's a conspiracy that they are putting upon us. And I'm saying to myself, how could it be a conspiracy when you're putting your money, when you have sisters and cousins and brothers and friends on your job who put money behind this crap? And you want to complain about people putting propaganda on our people, making our people look bad. I cannot blame those people who manufacture this crap to us, and y'all put your money behind it. No, it's not them, it's you. Right. And it's people who sit beside you. I go to 7-Elevens and I work in those stores, they playing that stuff.
Yeah.
So who am I to sit here and say that they're dropping propaganda? No, you need to expand your ears. It took me to college, because don't get me wrong, I love R&B, I love some stuff, but it took me into college to really expand my range with music. I love jazz, I love watercolors. You like watercolors. I like Broadway. I love some bit of country. I like some pop. You got to get up out of the garbage and educate your ears. But some people won't do that. They're too lazy to do it. That's why we are in this mess with what we whipped, with the government that we have. Right. People don't want to spend their minds out of the gutter of what they think is best suited for them as entertainment, and understand that there's so much more other than what you think is, should be basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we love mediocre because mediocre is.
I don't know. You don't love me get mediocre.
I live in the U.S., so I have to dibble and dabble in it. I don't.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's right.
Yeah, but that's stuff on that's clothes and furniture.
No, that's music. That's movies. That's everything.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that beautiful talent like this is just not completely recognized as it should be, because in the era of music and how music transcends between the 30s and I don't want to go back that far. Even back that far.
80s.
The 40s.
But
what's the point I'm making here? From the 40s, and down through the 50s, and when you had all of our greats that are the foundation of everything that we listen to nowadays, the Cab Callaways, Cab Calloway, and again the Ella Fitzgerald and the Dinah Washington, all of these wonderful the Nat King Cole, all of these brilliant black artists.
You had brilliant artists in the 70s.
My point is that the lineage that we come from in terms of music and the greatness that it is, we have resorted to the stuff that Charles mentioned earlier. I ain't gonna mention those names.
But we were talking about Angela Bofield. We were talking about Phyllis Hyman. We were talking about all these people who came and brought back the art of singing even then.
Yeah.
But then, you know, like we talked about the resurgence of MTV, and MTV kind of messed that up in the mid to late 80s, because there was a moment where they were gearing music towards the youngsters. Because you talk about the 70s, y'all lived through all this time.
Oh, I love the 70s. 70s music was phenomenal.
The 70s was a phenomenal time for music, because you could have the Carpenters, you could have Gladys and the Pips, you could have Diana Ross, you could have Sylvester, Fleetwood Mac,
you could have everybody.
And then comes MTV, and it messes up the flow of what it was that you could listen to, because now music was constrained to finally a genre, and then you just you had to stay with the click with music.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, and that's our problem. I mean, you're hip hop purists. I just you either for R&B, you for country. It's just so sad that, you know, it's polarized.
Yeah, it really has, and gaslighted very much.
Yeah, that's why you have people find Beyonce's country album. Yeah. She ain't purely country to the country purists, but hey, you know, she has made people put on cowboy boots and hats and fans, and now people, that's a big thing right now. And I don't know why the country bluegrass audience don't like that. Well, probably they just don't want that to be mainstream regardless. Hey,
it's like an inward click. And it has always been an inward click, and when nobody is able to get in within that inward click. So anyway, we have got to move on. All right. So we're going to take a moment to just kind of resurge of just information on the African American community about this gentleman. We caught his video, and he gets into really, really deep aspects of what the unsurgeon of the surgeons of things that we see in American society today.
What is it?
Huh?
What is
it's a black clip.
This is a very racist society. I mean, it's pretty shocking. What has happened in the last roughly 30 years with regard to African Americans actually is very similar to what Baptist describes in the late 19th century. Remember what happened. The constitutional amendments during and after the Civil War were supposed to free African American slaves. It did something for about 10 years. And then there was a North-South Compact, which essentially granted the former slave-owning states the right to do whatever they wanted. And what they did was criminalize black life in all kinds of ways. And that created a kind of a slave force. In fact, one of the most interesting books on it, Douglas Blackman's, is called Worse Than Slavery or something like that. It threw mostly black males, but also women, into jail, where they become a perfect labor force, much better than slaves. If you're a slave owner, you have to you have to keep your capital alive. If the state does it for you, it's terrific. No strikes, no disobedience, perfect labor force. A lot of the American Industrial Revolution in the late 19th, early 20th century is based on that. Actually, it pretty much lasted until the Second World War, when there was a need for what's called free labor in the war industry. After that come about two decades in which African Americans had a kind of a shot at entering the society. A black worker get a job in an auto plant. The unions were still functioning. Maybe buy a small house, send his kid to college or something. By the 1970s or 80s, it's going back to criminalization of black life. It's called the drug war, which is a racist war. Ronald Reagan was an extreme racist, didn't hide it. And the whole drug war, so-called, is designed from policing up to eventual release from prison to make it impossible for the black male community and more women and more Hispanics to be part of the society. In fact, if you look at American history, the first slaves came in 1619, half a millennium. There have been about 3 or 4 decades in which African Americans had a limited degree of freedom. You know, not entirely, but at least some. Now, of course, it's for black elites, there's some privileges, but I'm talking about the mass of the population, which has been recriminalized and incidentally also turned into a slave labor force. There's prison labor, for example. Well, this is American history. To break out of that is no small trick. In fact, if you take a look at the election, say the last election, in many ways it's a civil war of the red states of the Confederacy. extends a little beyond, but that's pretty much what it is. And of course, this is a real battle. These two founding crimes, slavery and extermination of the indigenous population, they're very much with us. Take a look at Indian reservations today. It's not a pretty sight.
There you go.
There you go.
Go ahead, Charles. You can take the floor with this first.
Well, I look at it like this. Because of Trump's election, people have gotten more emboldened. You see, there's a guy saw a black guy jogging in his neighborhood. He pulled out his rifle just with ease and shot him, and then drove off. It's just they become so emboldened. Now you get so many more white people going N-word, 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 because they know that they're making a resurgence. Racism, white nationalism, Christian nationalism, all that stuff is making resurgence, and it's all based on bias and prejudice. There's nothing uniting or harmonious about it. It's all based on segregation and bigotry.
And here we are fighting amongst each other about who's a tether and who's a black and who's an African American and all this other stuff. You know, it's just the crazy thing about it is, all of this is in our history, and they are so wanting to wipe this stuff out. And all we are so worried about is the wrong thing.
Always.
But you can't never tell us to stop and listen to what's going on around us. But you know what's so sad too is the fact that it's not only black folks, but it's always been some whites as well. You got people, they want to deny that this stuff is even important. Why is this important? Why y'all keep bringing this stuff up? But then in the same vein, you would tell other countries with the same type of situation not to forget. We should not forget the fact that Germany had a Holocaust. We should not forget about the fact that Israel is doing this all to Gaza and still doing stuff to Gaza. You can't forget about this, and you won't. But we forget. Shoot, you know what? My thing is this: we want to have selective memory in this country, and that's not right, and it's not fair. But then you have to realize it's going to take black folks to really sit down and educate one another how it's so important that we understand our struggle and that we cannot take for granted those who have came before us. We stand on the shoulders of people who couldn't even go and buy new shoes. They had to trace the bottom of their shoes and give it to the person at the counter, and on purpose to be petty, the man gave them the wrong fitting size shoe. They just couldn't go and wear and try on clothes. They couldn't try on shoes because white folks wouldn't do that. It was against their policy. And it's so crazy how we are so wanting to not want to believe that was not that long ago. And it goes back to what we talked about today. I mentioned Dave Chappelle, the fact that, this N-word business, you know what? To each his own. If you want to call yourself that, that's fine. You do what you want to do. But I can recall this woman, she sat Dave Chappelle at her table, fed him, tried to enlighten him and educate him about that word, and talking about the fact that how poison it is. And to this day, he won't stop using it. But then in the same vein, now, this is something else. Deion Cole got on Shannon Sharp's show not too long ago and talked about the fact that Cat Williams, what he did in that interview in exposing the black comedian world to exposing other black comedians to the world, right? In Dave Chappelle's mind, that was wrong. You don't expose our situations. You sit down and you talk to, we have a conversation and we get it out, right? So in my mind, when he was saying this about Dave Chappelle, I said to myself, well, Dave Chappelle, you can't get mad at Cat Williams for doing what he did because you still haven't stopped doing what you are doing. You, in the same vein, is still misappropriating and saying things you ain't got no business saying. But, Maya Angelou told you, stop using that word. Stop. But you still want to do you still went about doing what was best for Dave Chappelle. You can't sit there and tell Cat Williams to stop doing what Cat Williams is doing. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, as on the comedian role, they all do it.
They all do it. They all
do it,
disrespectful.
and
even Chris Rock. We talked about Chris Rock too. He's
Chris Rock
He's
the lowest of the totem pole when it comes to that, in my opinion, because how can you stand before a typically majority white audience and then use that word like that? You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
right.
Oh my gosh! I mean, there's just so I have friends or associates that I know that are comedians that use that.
They don't know no other word.
No other vernacular. It's like the audience really comes expecting to hear that. It just seems like that they're just coming expecting to hear that, or the vulgarity that has been a surging part within the comedian sector, but that's a whole nother conversation, within some. And then comedians that have great funny stories, that are clean, and I'm saying they're good and they are funny, but they don't get the pull, So to me, it's a problem in a culturally society of all these type of things. And I know Charles said, well, you have a different group for different things, and it pleases to different people, but pleasing to people what is yet carrying your society forward, I think is just two different type of situations, because
we have always used that word, and I'm not going to say we have always used that word. But you have to remind yourself, we always used it amongst each other. We didn't air our garbage, and that was a time because that was a generation that was on code. And I'm gonna keep bringing up the cultural code because we don't have a cultural code anymore. Well, it's just it's everything is just out there right now for everybody to know, and we have to educate. We always got to educate people about what it is that is hip to us. Why?
Well, let me submit this much. So there was this incident out here with a fight that happened at a mall out in your
Simi Valley
area, and it was some white teens, and it was I think 2 or 3 black teens. So the controversial moment about that is that the teens, some of them that were off camera, then some of them that were engaged in a fight were throwing out racial slurs, meaning that they were using the N-word. So how is it prosecutor told for them to be held responsible for that, but we're not being held responsible ourselves, okay, by saying that same word, okay? The other part about that is, now here's the other flip to this too. There's something where you guys think about it, send it in the comments or send an email or whatever case, but if you want to, further talk about it. The overall language of those teens were black infused. What did I say yesterday?
Black vernacular.
A black vernacular.
They were using that word.
They were using that along with the black vernacular of things that you would typically see that the black kids would use. Yo, man, this up, dude. I don't, all of this other type of stuff, that they generally use. Now, again, we can say that they've been infused by that music I don't like because they listen to it. Okay, we've made it an exposed situation for all these other communities to go embrace it, whatever they find, the homage around it. But when we're in situations where those challenges come up, such as that, who is right and who is wrong? Question? Anybody?
My thing is this, and I hear what you're saying too.
Yeah.
But if you don't want, listen, I think we need a code. I ain't gonna lie. I think we need a cultural reset.
Yeah.
And I keep saying that because at the end of the day, there is no filter anymore. You got a youth, and you got a youth right now who have been so invested in this thing called mainstream. You got a hip hop culture that has given so much to the mainstream. We don't have nothing to hold dear within our own communities anymore. We don't have nothing. And the saddest thing about it is, how can you get mad when you go to a festival and you kind of dare your crowd to say the N-word because they're not supposed to say it. How are we supposed to hold ourselves from saying, well, we told you so? Like, at the end of the day, you cannot set these people up because there is no setup. They're going to say that word. They're going to say it. And I'm not going to sit back and debate and combat because I know who I am. That's like Medea said, you are who you answer to, right?
Yeah,
That's what the old folks used to say. You are what you answer to. I don't answer to it.
Right.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Right.
Somebody tried to use that word on me one time. I walked so fast and act like I didn't hear them. I was talking. No, you wasn't. You know my name. My name is. I don't know who you're talking to.
Turn around, lucky. Didn't turn around.
I don't know who you're talking to. Don't. I was. I said no. You weren't talking to me.
Go ahead, Charles. Before we move on.
No, I don't have nothing to add to it. I'm with that though. I think we have a self-esteem problem, and we don't mind belittling ourselves and others in the name of joy, laughter, or fun, when it's not really anything to laugh at or to bring any joy.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
We have these type of people that are standing before that idiot right now.
Come on. He's a little shy, but once he gets going, nobody can stop.
Oh, no, that don't stop. I'm just proud to be on this team. I don't know why. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing, but I'm here to serve, and I'm here to serve you. Okay, so I'm going to do the best I can for as long as I can. Thank you very much.
Nobody like him.
You know why you up there with them?
Right here,
Go ahead, Charles. I'm sorry.
No, I said he knows why he's up there because he's a pedophile too, a convicted pedophile. So that's why he's up there with those guys. Don't act like you're shy now. You don't know what to say, and then you want to work with youth after you've been convicted of being a child molester. Come on, bro.
You're so messed up. I was doing what you told me to do. I was rubbing her on the right spot because you told me that it was okay. That you did, master.
What's that?
One thing they got out of that whole
credible witnesses.
I will serve. Right?
I will serve.
Go ahead, Charles. I'm sorry.
No, I just said, what's that saying about credible witnesses? He's not a credible witness. Not at all.
No, that wasn't put up there for that purpose.
Oh my God! I will serve. I will serve and do whatever you ask me.
I just love you, Mr. President.
That's crazy.
No, Charles, you left out one word: Master President.
Master President. And he looking like Mushmouth. I just want to thank you, Mr. President. I love you.
Hey, and he the only one that was black there, which is kind of like they didn't have no. I mean, it was just so like the guy came from out of the kitchen. Let's get old Paul from the kitchen. Let's have him stand up here. Come on down. You know, once he gets to talking, you can't never get him to stop. You know how that sounds so like.
I'm still trying to figure out how was he engaged and he don't have a fiance anymore. What happened to her? Did he pull an Alfred Hitchcock or something on her? Where'd she go?
Probably.
Who was this? Who we talking about?
A boy from Florida. Mushmouth.
Byron.
No, not Byron. The other one. I just love you, Mr. President.
Oh, you talking about not from Florida, from South Carolina.
South Carolina, yeah.
Tim
Scott.
Yeah. He was engaged. Remember when he was running for vice president? He got engaged. Then all of a sudden she disappeared. What happened? Is this a murder mystery? Should we be looking for
there is a picture circulating with him and her on there. I just didn't. I should have sent it in. But
want his boyfriend? I'm sorry.
A mess. But he's got a book out. He's got a book out. Speaking of this country and being Christian. So
when I was black,
you know what? I listen. I don't know what these people think I don't know what these people think that their legacy is going to be once they leave this earth.
I know the perfect title for his book.
Things about them.
The perfect title for his book is "When We Were Negroes." That's what his book should be called. When We Were Negroes. Father, tell us about when we were Negroes.
That's so.
Oh no, I'll tell you about that because I love Mr. President.
It is so embarrassing. How can you not know that you're a tool for somebody else's ignorance? What? And I think to be honest with you, that money must be so good to the point that it just doesn't really matter if I'm a tool or I'm just Bobo the fool.
All I know is that if Trump fart, his ears will pop. That's how far his head is up his butt.
His gums are flab too. That's the biggest set of gums.
And then what's his name? Donaldson called him daddy. So I mean, hey, what can you say? Come on, man.
That's so embarrassing.
That is embarrassing.
Donald's Congressman McDonald's had nerve to say, "Don't judge me. Don't try to correct my history."
It's embarrassing.
It is.
But it is what it is. This is what they would rather for all of us to be like, or to look to be on our knees begging for this type of situation. No, you know what? Go ahead with your next topic, because to be honest with you, you know, this is ignorance. But this is what they want us to all look like. We just come from the back of the kitchen wanting to be seen and heard and to be, you know, patted on the back. You know, that's a good boy. And that's how it looked. It looked like they kept saying, that's a good old boy right there. Man, it's as old as time. And they call it, and I know they want to call him boy. They want to say all of that.
It's like when I was in the military, my name being McIntosh, people thought I was white. So when they met me and I was the only black guy in the room, because you know they segregated it pretty much. They don't say they're not going to hire blacks. They just don't. Anybody with the name Keisha, Jamal, and all that is not going to get hired, or Jones. They try to get the white sound name. So when I got in the room, they go, McIntosh, I thought you were white. I got that so many times. And then they get to know me and they go, you're so articulate. And they want to say, you're not like all the other niggers. You can speak well. And I'm like, come on, bro.
I can believe it, because you know what? I hate to say this, you know, my grandma, oh boy, she said some stuff in her life, but she said that military, that's for them. You walk into their territory and you got to deal with that. You have to deal with it because you in their situation. But you know what's so funny? It's just the fact that we don't want to believe that that's still.
Yep.
We want to believe that it is not here. That culture still doesn't exist.
And it's not relevant right now. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
And that's sad. It's absolutely awful to want to believe that you don't want to believe that ignorance still don't hold no weight. You go to these college campuses. Who was the guy from Auburn, the head coach of the basketball team, talking about how Obama divided this country? Now this is Auburn University. You know what I mean? Black people, black team, you know, athletes. They go to Auburn, play within their sports program. These are black athletes that listen to this rhetoric. Yep. They are on that campus listening to that rhetoric, and they want to tell us y'all just want racism. But come on now. I'm done talking about that. Go on to the next topic. What are we talking about now? I'm so done talking about that because I get angry. Because to be honest with you, it's just like that ain't nothing but gaslighting right there.
Yeah.
That is the definition of gaslighting. But hey, all we need to do is get these people out of office. If we have enough time, you know, Texas. We talking about Texas. Let's get on with Texas because I'm on that subject matter now. Let's talk about Texas. Let's talk about it. Let's be about it because
Texas trying to hold them.
Texas. You talking about Beyonce? Texas hold them. You know that was on point. They should make that. They should make that the theme song for this situation that's going on with the Democrats and Republican lawmakers down in Texas.
Well, you know, that's an interesting, but we didn't. I couldn't download the right clip for that. But as
let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, as you know, or those who've been watching the news, you know that clown Abba Dabba Dabbit, the next clown that's running something. I don't know if he's running down in Texas, but they're trying to redline the districts to keep Republicans in control of the House and the Senate during the next election, 26th election. So the Democrats finally got some kahunas and decided that they were not going to be around for that voting to take place. So they all left town, which was great. All right. So the Abba Dabba Dabbit tries to say that he's put out a arrest warrant for all of them to force them to come back, and so that he can put this legislation through. I have never heard of any crock of shit like that in my entire life. You gonna force somebody to make a vote, you know?
But this is the problem. They need a quorum to do the vote, which means they have to have a majority in the House, a certain number of them. Now the problem is they're still going to need 12 Democrats to vote with them to do it. What Democrats do you think are going to vote with you to do that?
That's Abba Dabba Dabbit.
You know, there was somebody that gave Georgia. They gave y'all some props for standing up against Trump, because when that moment when Trump lost the election and he was asking for the governor to find all those votes for him,
exactly.
And Georgia was like, we're not going to do that.
Right.
We're not going to do it. But see, Texas, that's another situation in itself, because you have to remind yourself, Texas has always wanted to be its own country.
Yeah.
That's one thing people tend to want to forget. Texas has always wanted to be its own country. And that dang Abbott, he is one of those Texans who would have wanted for Texas to secede from the Union.
Absolutely. Well, he was pushing it.
Because they don't.
Hot Wheels.
Yeah, he was pushing it.
So I'm not surprised by what they are doing, because it's not only Texas, but it's Florida too.
Yeah, all those red
Mhm.
states. Yeah,
Oh,
all the
yeah.
red states are
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
participate.
But
Georgia's in there too, because even after he talked trash about Georgia, not helping them at all, they bent over backwards to change our legislator and our voting rules to help them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were real heroes. They followed the law because they didn't. This is my understanding. They followed the law because they were recording, and by them recording these things, they would make them look bad if they were going along with it against the law. So they recorded it, showed it, and kept themselves looking good. They were in good standings, but they were still just as bad as these other guys because they participated and wanted to do it.
Yep.
Wow.
This every week there's something impacting our country one way or the other, and I would just like to submit, we got to move on, the fact that I'm just going to think the universe is not going to allow this all of this, what we're expecting to happen in the way that it is.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean, at the end of the day, because if it is universe, if you are going to allow it to happen, guess what? These two, this man over here down in Atlanta, and these two out here in California, we're gonna be up out of here. Because everywhere we're gonna go, Charles gonna have a room. Okay. Charles gonna have a room.
Sad, it's gonna hurt our economy along with
it's already hurting.
It's hurting already. Go ahead with the next topic.
But anyway, so we're gonna move on against and getting away from Dabbit. But we want to jump in over here on a little bit more Trump bill and just different people that are opposing him. But we want to bring up that vice president, some stupidity that he did the other day as well. Okay?
I think the people whose ancestors fought in the Civil War have a hell of a lot more claim over America than the people who say they don't belong.
One of the things that struck me is J.D. Vance can use his $5 words. And he can try to give things a veneer of respectability. These are the same racist, xenophobic policies that we have seen from this administration since day one. And someone at TPM wrote this. I thought it was exactly right. What he is talking about is an America where heritage counts as much as values. And that's the question that you have to ask yourself. Do we want to redefine American identity to be about heritage? And would J.D. Vance like to know about all of the Mexican Americans who fought during the U.S. Civil War?
Oh, yes. I mean, it is, let's play a little bit more of this, because I think people really need to understand that this is exactly who J.D. Vance is and why it is so and the opposite of American.
Identifying America just with agreeing with the principles, let's say, of the Declaration of Independence, that's a definition that is way over-inclusive and under-inclusive at the same time. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, it would include hundreds of millions, maybe billions of foreign citizens who agree with the principles of the Declaration of Independence. Must we admit all of them tomorrow?
I just want to note that the words in the Declaration of Independence, all men are created equal, it wasn't just a slogan. That is a political thesis. The idea that in America, what makes you American is not your heritage, but your equality and your values. And the founding fathers rejected this idea of what some experts now are calling it. What he's talking about is blood and soil, like nationalism. Yeah. And the founding fathers rejected it. You can look at the Federalist Papers #1, the Federalist Papers #10. They were very, very clear that America is not going to be a country based on heritage. Because to be very clear, Alicia and Michael are just as American as J.D. Vance.
Idiot number 2. How could you say that? How could you say that?
But he discounted his wife and his
children.
Well,
that too. I mean, idiot. Well, that's only an idiot would do that. I mean, come on. I mean, it's really. I mean, how can you stand before a microphone and say this shit? How can you stand there and do that? I don't understand. Where do you come up with this concoction in your freaking brain that you're standing before people making stupid ass comments like that?
This is what they believe.
This is why you can't impeach Trump, because he's worse than Trump.
Oh my God, it's just dumb as hell. You know, I mean, and then how would you even be past your political science classes? I mean, you had to get up and do debates and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
It don't matter what
and then fall into this category of these people voting for somebody like you. Yeah. Where did you freaking come from?
From there, from where they were, from where he believes this stuff to be, from the rhetoric. I mean, they believe in this. It doesn't matter if facts to them. It doesn't mean a hill of beans if the rhetoric if it doesn't connect with the rhetoric that they want to believe is true.
Yeah,
they don't want to believe that Declaration of Independence meant. And at the time, and I hate to even bring this up, but we're talking about history too. Yeah, what was going on when the Declaration of Independence was being written? You know, the saddest thing about it is when Jefferson was writing that monumental piece, he was owning slaves.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they were trying to get away from a country that they felt like it was taxing the hell out of them.
Right.
Which now they're taxing the hell out of of the working class Americans. But hey, we don't see the forest for the trees anyway, because we don't want to be lectured to. We want to be entertained. That's what Jay Leno said. Yeah. We don't want to be lectured about what's wrong with the situation. Right. We want to be entertained.
Woo-hoo. Yes.
So that's why
drop it like it's hot.
That's why
slip and slide it and suck on it and everything else you tell me in the music to do.
If I was the 1%, I'd be happy right now. I ain't gonna lie, but see, they believe in this. They believe that it should be about heritage, because that would discount everybody else out of the equation. We talk about government assistance. They don't believe that you should have government assistance. It should be for those of heritage, of whiteness, of the real American.
Oh, excuse me.
And that is the truth.com. It's bad when everybody else can get government assistance, but it's not bad when 90% of whites can get it. And I hate to say this, and when
women they can't do get it, women
they can get it. Though.
They do.
They can get it.
They do.
But I'm just saying, when FDR was expanding the New Deal and was bringing up programs to help out those who couldn't find work, who needed the boost, they made it clear that they didn't want African Americans to get the same programs. Yeah. They wanted to out of the equation. So at the end of the day, they know what they're doing. They know what they're saying. They're saying that, you know, you're not truly American because you are not like me. You are not me. You will never be me. And that it is what it is. It doesn't come with facts. It just comes with the fact that this is what I believe.
Right.
Go ahead, Charles. I'm sorry for taking.
No, you ain't coming off. I mean, I agree with you totally. I mean, it's a sense of pride that I think is missing. There used to be a time when people were just proud to be American. And as a man who served in the military, and I even though I went because I felt like there's nowhere else for me, I still served because I love my country. Mm-hmm. I still sacrificed. I lost 16 friends in a plane crash on my ship in the middle of the ocean down near Cuba, and the plane crashed, killing guys on the plane. Bomb dropped, killed 16 of my buddies. Well, actually 14 of my buddies were fighting the fire. You know, it was a horrible incident, and that's during peacetime. And people seem to think everything's so easy, done, hunky dory. You know, we want to do this, we want to do that. And it bothers me when people talk about country and they don't even serve. You don't even volunteer to be a part of what goes on in the country to talk so much trash.
You know, and I don't even want to get on my veterans tangent about what this country is doing. You know, and I know your circumstances and so many others that are out there. I just, you know, I get sick to my stomach to think about that. You know, and then the rhetoric, and then the ones that served long before you did that weren't even treated as an American.
My dad.
Like my dad too. That wasn't even treated like an American when he came back. You know, but anyway, we're gonna move on. We're gonna so of course following behind the idiot, and here's the boss of the
old and little known law known as the Rule of Five.
Not that one, not Chuck Schumer.
Come on, he's a little shy, but.
Oh no, I can't find the boss of the idiot right now. Where is it? I didn't get that clip right, but the boss of the idiot
was the boss of him. I mean, you know, it goes back to the story that, you know, Lena Horne said when she was doing that USO tour during World War II. You know, she had to. They made her do a concert with the German POWs at the front. in front of her.
Wow.
In front of all of the black servicemen, they put the German POWs in front. And she picked up the microphone stand and took that thing all the way to the back. And she performed in front of the black U.S. servicemen and had the Germans look from behind her. And I thought about that story and I said, you know what? So that right there, the disrespect that you would put the enemy because of their Caucasian lineage in front and put us in the back.
White is always right. Black is in the back.
Yeah, black is in the back.
And she was thrown off the USO tour for doing that. But I thought about that. I said, that right there is just the disrespect that we have had to put up with since then and up until now. They want us to go back to being disrespected like that. That's why they're having this black fatigue movement going on X. Oh, we so black fatigued. Oh my God. Well, you know what? I hate to say it, you keep messing with the right ones, you're gonna be fatigued. Right. Nobody telling you to step out of your place and mess and cut up in front of niggas. There's a different category you messing with. You will want to mess with ones that don't want to say nothing and torture them. But boy, when you get in front of the right one, I always tell people, you ain't got me, but when you get in front of that right person that ain't got nothing to lose, you're gonna find out.
That's like the video of the white lady spitting on the black lady, and the black lady beat the daylights, and she said, okay, I'm sorry. She's like, oh no, she's like, you spit in my face, and now you're gonna go, you sorry, when I'm starting to pound your butt?
She kept tearing her tail up. She was pulling hair and whooping tail at the same time. I saw it. Yeah. And her husband and whoever, that man that she was with, didn't do nothing. Just stood there and watched.
What was he gonna do? He's gonna get his butt whipped too.
Girl wasn't taking that mess, and and it wasn't. And I saw another clip where the lady was gonna fight the man, this other guy, the old man, in front of a Longhorns.
Yeah.
I said, y'all are messing with the rights of the people. That's all right. Keep on doing what you're doing. It's gonna be more than black fatigue. And this is the new thing that's going on. I think we're deporting the wrong demographic. I think y'all gonna really find out this demographic that y'all want so bad that y'all want us gone, but it's gonna take hell and high water. It's gonna take hell and high water. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, we're going to bring it down a bit with our friend of the show. I mean, I love how she articulates so many things of bringing spirituality and inclusiveness about where we are with things. And I think this point is kind of very, very important about the black-white issue. What she's representing, I think on this clip, she's talking about how people didn't see Jesus as the right color. Okay.
This is just fiction. Then why does Jesus Christ himself refer back to it as a real?
And last thought on this, but I'm not done. When you're talking about historical accuracy, you can't use a text to verify itself. It has to be verifiable with external sources. You can look at the teachings of Christ and say, these are amazing. This is a wonderful way to live. But when we're going for historical accuracy, you can't say, well, we can't verify this at all, but the Bible says it, therefore it has to be true. Because anyone could do that. I could say, well, if the God of the Quran isn't God, then why does the Quran say that it's God? You could use any religious text to say that. You could use any ideological text. You cannot prove a text using the text to prove itself. That is called circular reasoning, and it does not work.
It wasn't the one that I intended for it to be, but that was still right on point. Still right on point. And I like Charles when he's back on. Yep, that's true. Because I mean that's what happens. But here's the thing in equating that into what we're talking about. In this country, it has, and you stated earlier that the Constitution was written and all of that was written for the intent of the idea of information being brought out of the person and not the belief factor of a person. So meaning that why they clearly said that we were not supposed to be mixing church and state. Okay. We were not supposed to be equating spiritual things, how to run the government. Now, if you are one of those that like to pray before you go, well, that's on you. Go right ahead. Maybe that offers direction. Maybe that offers something to you. Maybe you get out of your nasty ways. I don't know. Okay. Because if that's the case, a lot of people need to be praying right now. Okay. For themselves. Yeah. Okay. And not for the country that understands where it's going. And here's the thing with that. The country understands where it's going. The planet understands where it's going. It's the people that inhabit these certain areas of the country, of the planet, and doesn't know where they're going. You know, we say it all the time. We want to necessarily blame. These people are so disconnected from their spiritual being that it is just unfreaking believable. Totally disconnected from it. But in the main ones that are disconnected are the ones that wants to implement church and state. So disconnected. Because number one, you will be more concerned about your fellow man versus getting behind legislation so that you can stop somebody from being who they are. You can stop abortion. I can stop abortion because I'm a Christian. I can stop gay people because I'm a Christian. I can stop black men dating white women because I'm a Christian, or vice versa. I can stop it because it's not my belief factor. Come on, y'all, for real. Like she just said, you cannot use the text to contradict the text over the text of the text. You got to deal with facts versus facts. And most of y'all don't even understand the facts that are there, even in the scripture or the Bible that you say you read.
Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't fit their narrative.
It doesn't
fit the narrative. Facts don't matter if it doesn't fit what they believe is correct. It doesn't feel really feel like their worldview is being represented. And to be honest with you, that's dangerous.
It is.
You know, that's why you have totalitarian states, autocratic states, because there are people who come with information that is so not fact, but then you want to believe that it's fact because it's coming from somebody that you feel represents you, and that right there is a dangerous thing for anybody to have that type of worldview. It's dangerous, but hey, each his own. Right. Hey, Jim Jones said, "Believe it,"
and they drank it. Charles,
they drank it and burped afterward.
Go ahead, your point.
I just want to close out with this, and I say this every week. Until we realize we need each other to survive, we won't survive.
You won't survive.
It's just the truth.
This is so true. Yeah, so true. I mean, you know, and I do hope that at some point that, well, let's put it this way, present company included, we probably won't see that in our lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Because if there's a shift, there used to be a time when it's a generation, the ideas of generation would change every 25 years. Absolutely not. That is probably the biggest farce that ever. I'm saying maybe now 50 to 75 years they'll be peaking on a change. Okay, 50 to 75 and 100 will probably see something different. Okay?
Can you imagine being Ted Cruz's grandchildren? Your granddaddy was a jerk. He actually hurt the country.
That's jeez. I mean, and it depends on what, you know, it depends on where countries by and large are even at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, that we may not be witnessing it from this particular perspective, but we'll be looking back and we'll be like, dang, but damn. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm wrong place saying damn.
You know, the saddest thing with this rhetoric that they are trying to uphold in this country and whatever Western country, we are so globally behind because of it. That we are so freaking globally behind. We on the other side of the Western world, there's another world that we are in competition with that
flourishing.
Is so ahead of what we got going on over here. And it's China, it's India, and it's Russia, and some parts of Africa. Yeah. They are ready to go ham right now, and we're sitting over here trying to figure out who's superiority over this person and who should have this. Globally, they are just self-sufficient.
Well,
they are self-sufficient, and we are over here trying to figure out how we're going to build up the economy with this fool in the White House. And that is what gets me about this whole thing, that y'all are so wanting it to be a nationalistic thing. Germany, this is what, and I'm going to make this short and sweet. Germany didn't even have the money. They didn't have the resources. That's why they needed another world war. They were stealing from those Jews they deported out of that country. Wow. Hitler needed money bad. Wow. He needed resources bad. And where were the resources coming from? They were coming from
the properties. They were coming from the money that they stole.
All the looting.
They looted. And on top of that, guess who else was giving them money? Some of these American CEOs at the time. So it's just it boggles my spirit how they feel like that was a successful situation. No, and it's over here right now where Trump he has brought the debt to such a low right now.
Right.
That he is trying in his best way to just cover up and distract us with all types of nonsense. And you got other countries that are looking at us like y'all are absolutely looking stupid right now. But that's fine. Keep looking stupid. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But the American people, we ain't awoke to what's actually going on. But I tell you who, we talked about this today. The only people that might survive all this craziness is the Amish and the 1%.
Yeah, this is true. But I love what Jane Fonda said.
Yeah, Jane Fonda is about that life.
Heroes. She's such a hero for a cause. Always a hero for a cause. Love it. And we're going to finish up with this little catch from Mr. Denzel.
Never tell somebody everything. You might be educating an enemy. And I wish Black folks would take heed to these dang words. Never tell somebody everything. You might educate an enemy. And that has been our problem as a culture. We always the 6 o'clock news for information that doesn't pertain to what everybody needs to know. We're always the one airing our dirty situations. And I understand what Dave Chappelle was saying when I was on that rant. I understood that he didn't want Cat airing out their situation, but then y'all have been doing it for so long on mainstream stages already. There is no filter. There is nothing that we hold dear anymore.
Yeah.
Because I hate to say it, some of these Black comedians, they are not Dick Gregory. They're not Dick Gregory.
Right.
Dick Gregory had integrity for his community and for his people. Yep. I'm just going to leave it there.
And we'll leave it like as Charlie Brown says.
Well.
Put your hand up. Who wants to see Trump go to prison? Okay, guys, we thank you so much for thank you so much for tuning in to The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. Another inspirational evening with us. We thank you for taking and setting aside this time with us. If you're catching it in between, in the middle of it, whatever, you can always click back and see re-air the show, or you can catch us on Saturday for our re-airing at 6 p.m. on your given time zone. All right. Thank you so much. We will be right back here for our next 2 shows before we go on hiatus. And coming back with our season 6 of a phenomenal time in the middle of September. So we are getting geared up for that, introducing some of the, and guess what? More clips of the truth from The Truth Behind the Truth. All right. Love you guys. See you next week. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
Bye.